Hello there. I'm trying a little bit different sharpening angle. I don't know how this will work because I usually use two hands, but we're going to find out. Anyway, this is my QSP worker. The last video I did on this, I sharpened this on a crystalline India combination stone that I had just received from a good friend and supporter here on this channel. And I asked in the comments, or in the video, I said if you would like me to go to a hard or a black Arkansas on this knife, comment in the comments below, and I'll be glad to. And I had a comment, a viewer that wanted me to do this, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now what I'm going to do, I generally use this stone with water, soap and water, but I'm switching my Arkansas stones and my India and crystalline stones back to oil. But you'll hear on the internet that once you use oil on a stone, you can't go back. And that's not quite true. The Northern India stones are already impregnated with oil. So they're pretty much meant to be an oil stone. But the Arkansas stones, you can use either one on. And the thing of it is, with a stone like this black is so dense that it's not really going to absorb this oil, with a caveat that, over time it would, if you leave oil on it all the time. But if I wash this stone off immediately after I get done with it with hot soapy water, you're not going to have any issues. I haven't, anyway. But what you can do with oil stones that are impregnated with oil, if you want to use water on them, is soak them overnight in simple green, or a couple of days in simple green, depending on how soaked they are in oil, and it will suck the oil out of them and you can use them again, and it won't hurt the stone. So, and I know people use kerosene and all other kinds of things as well. So this is mineral oil. What I'm going to do on this stone, though, is I'm going to try to use a very minimum amount of oil, because I want the cutting power of this stone to be intact. So that's what I'm going to do. If I look and see that I need more oil, then I will use more oil. But for right now, yeah, that camera angle ain't working. That's better. So I hope everyone is doing well. We are. We've hit another little cold snap. They said last night was supposed to have been like 11 degrees. I don't think it got quite down that far, but it got close. My windows, or this window in here anyway, had ice all over it. You couldn't see out of it when I got up this morning, so. Yeah, we want to put a little bit more oil on that. That's better. But I know that there are, speaking of the cold, I know that there are other places in the country. This is like the 4th of February, by the way. I don't know when this will air, but that's what the date is. But I mean, I know that there are other areas of the country that are even worse. I think some place got like minus 100 degrees. Dude, bless your little heart. I don't want anything to do with minus 100. When I was in the Air Force, I was stationed at Chanute Air Force Base in Illinois, and I think I arrived there in February or March. I believe it was February, but it might have been the first part of March. And when I got there, it was 65 degrees below zero. And they basically said, well, in like the first week, some time in the first week, it ended up at 65 below zero. And they basically said you're not allowed outside. If you go outside and you have any part of your body that's uncovered, we'll have to cut it off because it will freeze and rot, basically. It'll kill it. And there won't be anything we can do about it. So, yeah, we stayed inside. They had I don't know if you remember the oil-fed baseboard heaters. A lot of times they would set them up under a window or something like that, right? There was ice on that window, I swear could be close to an inch thick. And the baseboard heater was running and blowing right directly on that window. It wasn't even phasing it, not even a bit. So yeah, I don't even want to think about 100 degrees below zero. No, thank you. But that's what I saw on the Weather Channel earlier. There was someplace up north, I think it was, that was over 100 degrees below zero, minus 100. Woohoo! No, thank you. I love Arkansas stones. This is a gorgeous stone. And I know people are going to go, well, is that a surgical black? Well, technically, yes, but you have to understand. I mean, if you look at how black this stone is. But you need to understand that surgical black is a marketing term. I know people argue with me, and you know, I'm not an expert. But I do know that that's the case. The surgical black Arkansas started when the medical field, and this was decades ago, when these stones were in use, more in use in industry. Okay? Decades ago, the surgical black label for a sharpening stone, for an Arkansas stone, started when Norton began to market a really super black, the blackest stones they could find, and they were the finest stones that they could find, to the medical community for sharpening things like scalpels and stuff like that. Okay, kind of similarly like a gold test stone, if you know what that is. Same kind of deal, and it's basically marketing. But there was some truth in the fact that those stones were finer. So it's not all about marketing, but a surgical black is a name that's given to a particular type of stone. And honestly, people can say what they want, but I can't really say this is a surgical black and nobody can say it's not. The only ones that could do that were the manufacturers that designated it that way. There's no way you can actually look at this stone and truly tell. I know, once again, I'll get a bunch of arguments. Or people, if they see this stone that are into these stones, will argue it till they're nauseous. That's okay. Um, you believe what you want to believe, and I'll go with what I'm pretty sure that I know. But it doesn't matter. Because I get that question all the time. When I trot out a black Arkansas, someone in the comments says, is that a surgical black? Most of the time I say, yeah. Because it meets what most people's expectation of a surgical black is. And nowadays, like I say, you know, it's what it is. I would consider this a surgical black just by the way it looks, by the way it feels when I hone on it, the weight of it in my hand, many different. But I mean, look, I mean that's a coal black stone. It's gorgeous. And now you'll see me kind of do that. If you look at this blade, and I think I said something about it the last time, it's got a slight curve. That starts about here and it curves a little bit that way. And I got to be careful. This is a black Arkansas. The edge is already flipping killer. If I'm not careful, I'll slice my finger clean open. And I'm not doing any kind of time on this. I'm not counting any laps. I'm just sharpening on this stone and enjoying myself. See, that's the thing. I was talking to a good friend of mine. Matter of fact, this stone came from him. And for me, almost any knife that I will use for whatever purpose I might choose to use it for, I really rarely ever need an edge any finer or sharper than what comes off a good quality soft Arkansas stone. That's my favorite edge. I've not made any secret about it, nor anything like that. And honestly, a Norton Fine is a really fine edge for 90% of what most average knife users will use a knife for. And that fine stone will cut whatever steel you choose to cut with it. No question. But anyway, I love these old stones, and to pass a steel blade across one of these black Arkansas, one of these so beautiful stones, is incredibly satisfying. But also, this steel is it's N690. It's a bit harder than most of the average steels that I use. And, what is it? I can't remember now. But, and I think it would benefit greatly from a polish on this stone. And what I'm doing is I'm going by what the steel feels like under my hand. And actually, honestly, we're flipping there. I can feel the smoothness, the change in smoothness. On this edge under my, that's one of the things, there's a reason that I mean, I could sharpen like this and just go, okay? I have the ability to do that. I know how to keep that edge where it is at a right angle and all of that. But when I put the knife on the stone like this and my thumb is here, I can feel that blade a lot better. I can feel everything about the edge on this blade. And that's why I sharpen the way that I do. So yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous. Lovely. Yeah. I'll take that. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.